Let's go and speak to Darren, who's a Forest fan. All right, Daz?
Not bad, how are you?
Hi, Darren.
I'm all right, mate. You don't sound too clever, Daz.
No, I'm all right. I spoke to Dino and O'Hara after the Liverpool game.
Right.
And I called out Howard Webb at that point. Dino and O'Hara are up in arms that there's no issue at all with what's going on. In my opinion, since Howard Webb's taken over from Mike Riley, the standard of officiating's got worse, and nobody in the mainstream media has got the kahunas to call it out for change at the head of the PGMOL. That's what needs to happen, but you're all absolutely terrified of losing your right to broadcast. You guys, Sky, TNT.
What makes you think anyone's worried? I mean, have you heard Simon Jordan? Have you heard this? What goes on at Sport and talkSPORT?
I didn't hear Jordan earlier, to be fair.
No one's scared. Not here, anyway.
You look at Neville and Carragher calling it out. If it was Man U or Liverpool, they'd have been all over it like a rash, like Carragher was with the offside at Tottenham earlier this season. The issue is at the top of the PGMOL with Howard Webb, and that's where the change needs to come from. I don't know who it is. Maybe it needs to be somebody that's not an ex-ref that runs it. Maybe somebody from Europe needs to come, because it seems to work in European competition all right, VAR.
How can Howard Webb, though?
Works.
How can Howard Webb, see that referee, that there were 3 penalties for me, right?
Okay, all 3.
What's his name, the ref, that was sat in the VAR chair?
Was it David Coote?
What was it? Atwell, yeah. So how can Howard Webb teach him? What can he do to teach him to get them decisions right?
Dino, the point is that it's been happening all season. It's not getting better. So all that happens is you get an apology from the PGMOL to say, oh, yeah, sorry, we got it wrong. He does his stupid TV programme where Michael Owen doesn't put him under any pressure whatsoever, or we'll try and get better. We're now, 4 games from the end of the season. It's getting worse, not better. And this isn't just about the Forest game at Everton yesterday. You've got to look at the Chelsea free kick against Man City with a Jack Grealish chance. The Wan-Bissaka one, is it a penalty, isn't it? Nobody knows anymore. And Howard Webb is the one that's telling the VAR and the referees, this is how we want you to start applying it.
Darren, do you know what? If I sat down, right, for 2 weeks, I'd have to sit down for 2 weeks and go through the laws of the game, right? So I'd have to learn the laws of the game again. I'd have to learn how, because they make so many laws up. It's their own fault. So once I've got that in the bag, I'm 100% confident if I sat in a studio with 6 screens around me and I had 4 minutes to make a decision, I maybe get one wrong in 20. I'm convinced if I sat there.
Why are people that are being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to do it, and that's all they do, why do they keep getting it wrong? And why is it getting worse? As the season's gone on, it's not got better. We've not seen improvements. We're getting more and more issues with VAR.
I have to agree with that. I happen to think that we've got the best refs in the world. I see some of them across Europe, some of the decisions they get across Europe.
I'll give you an example, Jace. I'll give you an example why they don't. If you've never played football, right? So I played against Jason. Ball goes over the top. I'm running after it. I'm going to get the ball before Jason. I get my body across him, and I actually slow down so I tangle legs with Jason. Yep. He can't do nothing about it. No. I used to do that on purpose. Yep. I'd slow down so he'd run into the back of me. Yeah, that's the place to do that. If you've played football, you understand what I've done. Yeah. But if you've never played football...
Dino, whether you've played football or not is irrelevant. You can teach anybody anything at any job.
You can't?
Of course you can.
You can't. Well, you can teach me to be like... You can teach Jason to play for Real Madrid. Can he?
My point is,
can he?
Anybody could be taught to be a VAR. You could get so many clips. It might take 6 months. It might take a year to get somebody that's competent enough to do it. But you could get a load of clips and go, this is what's happened here, explain it to them, and the right individuals would be able to understand that and then apply it.
So you could teach me to be a rugby referee then?
Yeah.
No chance.
Why?
Because I don't understand the game.
Dino, you're Welsh.
Yeah, but I understand the basics.
Yes,
but
of course he's Welsh.
I don't understand the tactics of rugby like someone who's played rugby.
You could be taught them. When you were born, you didn't understand the rules of football. You learnt them.
But Darren, here is the thing as well, right? Because so many decisions in football are subjective, therein lies the big problem. Now, you might find, I happen to think that had that decision gone, the first penalty on Raya, if it's given, I don't think too many people are going to say that's a terrible decision. And I think on the flip side, when it's not given, I don't think you should say it's a terrible decision. It's not a terrible decision, that. It's not terrible.
It's
not a howler.
Jason, I'll give you one thing that can make life easier for everybody, right? Something this simple. When Wan-Bissaka gets it on the hand and Ashley Young gets it on the hand, right? Tell the referee, in these situations, from now on, only give a penalty if you think he's deliberately handled the ball.
But that law went ages ago. The deliberate handball was gone.
That would make things easier.
It's gone. Go on, Des.
You can make it even easier by saying the handball, if the arm's touching the side of the body, then and it hits the arm there, it's not handball. If it's away from the body, regardless.
No, but you know who stands when you're playing football? You don't stand like a soldier.
And I get that. I get that, Jason.
You just don't.
We need to get to a point where everybody understands it. Nobody knows what.
There I agree with you. The lines are so blurred that.
And you've seen it in 45 minutes.
Well, do you think Ashley Young deliberately handled that ball?
Do
you think he did?
No, of course he didn't.
Deliberate handball's not.
Do you think Wan-Bissaka deliberate? So why are we giving penalties and we know it's not deliberate?
Because the law. Go on.
Dino, I agree. The law says, however, that it's got no mention of the word deliberate anymore.
Change the law.
And the problem is, and I agree, and that's what I'm saying. The law for handball needs changing, but just you got to take away the fact that Forest and the Everton thing yesterday. My point is, the standard of officiating in VAR has got worse as the season's gone.
Well, do you know what?
Howard Webb leads that team of people. It's getting worse. The only way to improve it is to get rid of Howard Webb and put somebody else in charge with some proper direction. It might be we have to go and get somebody from Europe. What
about young footballers who've got no history? So they've not got no allegiances to they've not played. Like I couldn't referee a game, could I? I played for everyone.
No, you did.
So what game could I ref? Without being biased. So you need.
With respect, forget the allegiance thing. Anybody can be taught any job.
Do you think someone could teach you to be a greyhound trainer?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Fine, that's what I wanted. Cheers, Dax. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is there a job out there that no one could teach you to do? There must be a job out there. If you've got a job, right, where you think there is absolutely no way anyone could teach me to do
Ronnie
this
O'Sullivan?
job.
You could play like him if you practice every day. Not a chance.
No, not as
He's a genius.
No, he is a genius, yes. And that's where it's a talent, right? So talent's different.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.